just clicked the go live and there was no confirmation. So we are live 5 minutes earlier.
We couldn't wait.
We really couldn't wait for this. So now I know, because I'm using a new software, so we can do like a pre-live, Marco. So this is my first time using this software, as you probably guessed. And yes, so today we'll talk about Rust. And you've been traveling for a while, I think. I saw some pictures. I think you were also with Luciano.
Yes. So I first in January I was at Colorful, which is a nice conference happening in Sicily, and then in February I was in London for Rust Nation and Rust Global, and Luciano was giving the closing talk at Luciano Mammino was giving the closing talk at Rust Global, where he spoke about AWS Lambda and how you can write them in Rust. Both why and how. And he's writing a nice book. It's called AWS. I don't remember, but if you Google like Rust Lambda book, you'll find it. Yeah.
Yes. Also, I met Luciano in person some years ago. It has been one of the first guests on my YouTube channel when this channel was really small. So Marco, please introduce yourself. We are going into like official mode now. And so Marco, really welcome. It has been a while for me not doing a podcast, so I really wanted a really top class guest. Marco, we had just a very short call, coffee chat in Italian, and this is our first time, I think, speaking in English.
Yes.
So Marco, please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, so you wanted to have a top guest, so I'm not sure you picked the right one, but so I'm Marco. I started computer engineering at university. Then I really liked embedded programming, and so for the first 3 years of my career, I worked with C and C++ in embedded. Then I was always curious, so in the meantime, I was learning new programming languages. Among these, there was Rust, and I was really passionate with it, and so I decided that I wanted to work full-time with it. And so, I applied for a company in Milan where I was doing backend. And then, for fast forward to last year, I saw a job post from the Rust Foundation, and I thought, okay, I'll never get there, but let's try. And I don't know, it happened. So now I work in the infrastructure team of the Rust project, and I'm employed by the foundation to do so. And in the meantime, I maintain a bunch of software. The one that I'm most proud and the one that I'm most working on these days is called the Release Please, which is a Rust project to release other Rust projects, basically.
Yeah, and I really got really curious into this Release Please, so I really want you to talk about that because it really looks an interesting idea. So it's like an internal tool written in Rust to release the Rust project. I took a look at the GitHub repository, of course. Don't forget to leave a star. Yes, Marco. So basically, you got into the Rust Foundation. So can you tell us what are you doing there? So which are your main responsibilities in the Rust Foundation? If you can also tell us more about this Rust Foundation, how this is done,
Sure.
How do you behave, how do you organize events, and so on. Thank you.
There is a bit of confusion when I talk to people that are not really into Rust. Let's say a lot of people think that Rust is developed by the foundation, but actually it's not like that. So Rust, for example, the 1.0 was released 10 years ago in 2025, while the Rust Foundation, I think it was created in 2021. And so, basically the foundation was created to support the Rust project. The Rust project is the entity where, it's not really, like it's a group of people that work on Rust. And there are different teams. There is the compiler team, there is the standard library team, there is the Grets.io team, docs.rs, and so on and so on. There are a lot of teams. We have like, I think almost 300 members of the Rust project among in the various teams. The Rust Foundation is more like, it's like a legal entity. It is a no-profit, and we are now 13 employees. And some of us do, for example, HR, marketing, and others like me do engineering. So some of these engineers are paid to be part of the Rust project. So, for example, in my case, my role is to be part of the infrastructure team, contribute to it, and so on. This is, in particular, this is a critical role that it's very hard to find contributors for, in particular for the admin privileges. Like in theory, you can be part of the infra team without having the admin privileges, but to do certain things, for example, to run infrastructure as code, so to provision infrastructure, to get access to certain servers, to update them, get access to GitHub settings when needed to change them. Like this, you have important admin access that you cannot give to contributors, to volunteers, let's say, because it's I don't know, it's hard to trust. Like in theory, they could do very bad things. And so we have some volunteers that had these privileges before the Rust Foundation was established. And so they keep having them. But probably, if we need other people for capacity reasons to have these admin accesses, probably we will hire new people instead of finding of giving them to other contributors, basically. That's why basically they opened this role, because they needed more people with these permissions to work, and they couldn't give it to volunteers. And to be honest, it's also difficult to find volunteers, of course. And so my let's say what I do on a daily basis, it depends, because like the role is very broad. So for example, when I started, one of my first goals was to update all the Terraform providers of our infrastructure. Then I updated all our servers to Ubuntu 24 and all the packages. Then now I'm doing a lot of work on the CI to try to make it more efficient, and so use less large runners and less GitHub large runners, which are like runners that have more resources, more cores, more RAMs, with respect to the free ones. And instead my work was to try to use the free runners instead of the large runners to make the CI more efficient. And then there are like the GitHub bots that help the Rust contributors. There are the CDNs where we all download crates and Rust releases and so on.
Nice, thank you, Mark. It's great to have, let's say, an idea of what is also behind the scenes of the whole Rust foundation and Rust, let's say, community, I would say. So this is like the core of the Rust community and Rust project and Rust language itself. Yes, I would like to ask you about the events. I know that you participated to some events, so this is also a recap for me. So I'm lucky that I'm recording this, so I can also watch it later. So I would like to get more involved into speaking at some Rust conferences. So maybe if you can make us like a recap, I don't know, for which are the biggest conferences, the most interesting one, the Rust laser focused conferences. I think you've been in some of them. So please let me know everything about Rust conferences, Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, I forgot, because you asked me about the role of the foundation inside these conferences. So the foundation, since last year, they started organizing RASConf, which is the conference that happens in America in almost in September. For example, last year was in Montreal, which is in Canada. So yeah, and then this year will be in Seattle in September, and like this is, let me say, the official Rust conference, okay, like the one that is been around for the longest and so on. And then there are other conferences that are not organized by the foundation but by other companies, and like, let's say, yeah, I will tell my favorites. I don't know. Let's start with the ones that I will attend this year. So first of all, yeah, last week there was Rust Nation, which happens in London every year, and we generally, we from the foundation, we go. Then we go there. Then yeah, sorry, all the conferences, I will say, we from the foundation to some capacity will go. I will be there. Then in May there will be Rust NL, where this year there is also an event where all the all the project members are invited, and we have like rooms where we can collaborate and do cross team work. But there is also on the side the conference. Like, yeah, there is also like time for other people not involved in the project to like, I don't know, share time together, and after this there is also the conference and so on. So yeah, check the program for each of these conferences. So this was Rust NL, that you can find also as Rust Week, I think, because it lasts 1 week. Then there is Euro Rust, which I don't remember the period, but you can check the website. And to answer to Drub Rawat, is there news on Project Polonius? Last year at Eurorust, there was a talk about Polonius, so I would suggest to go and watch it on YouTube because it's already there. So Eurorust is like changes from like goes around Europe, so it's not not always in the same city. So for example, last year was in Vienna. At some point it was in Germany, Brussels, and then this year it will be in Paris, and yeah, I will be there. And yeah, that's it. Then since we are both Italian, I will mention Rust Lab, which happens every year in Florence, which is a great conference, and I think that one of the best excuses for Rusticians to visit Italy.
Nice. Really interested about the Florence one. Florence is one of my favorite Italian cities. I'm from Rome, but I really love Florence also for personal reasons. So I don't know if you are participating there. You can send me some link, and I will see if I can come as an excuse to visit Florence again, because it's a really wonderful city. Yeah. Great. So perfect. So I really like that you have like a whole say big picture of the whole the conferences in Rust. And
one disclaimer, I'm for sure, like, there are way more. I think
there are always more.
There was a link. There was a link that was summarizing everything.
If you know any other Rust conference, or you can Google while we are speaking, you can also put this in the chat. So maybe Marco, if someone mention it, say, okay, I forgot that. So we are just I'm just talking out loud out of our minds. So for sure we forgot some very important ones. That's, I'm kind of sure about this. Let's see. You sent me a link.
Yeah, it's a link with all the Rust conferences happening.
Okay, so let's do this. This is a link with all the Rust conferences.
Yes.
Yes. This is very interesting. Nice. I will probably check it out and also post about this. Very interesting one. Great. Perfect. Thank you. Yes, and yeah, Marco. So, what do you think? What's your, let's say, project for 2025, and what will you work on? This is probably also a good opportunity to introduce the Release Please project.
Yeah, so from a point of view of like work related, so with the infrastructure team, so we plan, let's say, quarter by quarter. So for this quarter, yeah, the big focus was CI, and probably for the next like for the rest of the year, we also will touch CI to try to make it more maintainable. For example, we want to ensure that all that, like we don't miss any test, like that. I don't know, when we change something, we don't ignore some tests, stuff like that. Then we also have a project to create backups of our assets that are right now stored in S3 buckets in AWS. We want to create I think it's called out-of-band backup. So like a backup that is another cloud provider, so that if by mistake or something bad happens, I don't know, one of our accounts is compromised, somebody deletes our AWS accounts, we still have another like the backup for all the Rust releases and Rust crates in another cloud provider, for example, I don't know, GCP. And this other cloud provider will be completely, like, we'll have different admins, so that if one of us is compromised, they cannot compromise also the backups, basically, so that we can ensure that the Rust, you can still compile a random Rust program that depends on random library on random nightly Rust releases, let's say. So these are the project that comes to my mind for this year, for the infrastructure team. Probably want to do some work on Docker REST to make it scale more. But yeah, for at the personal level, maybe I would like to propose something for like RustConf, let's see, to talk about the work that we've been doing about CI. Yeah. And so maybe, hopefully I will get to speak to one of the conference late this year, talk about this. I already did a talk about for Release Please. I did 2 talks related to Release Please this year, so probably I don't want to do more. Instead, for Release Please, I want to sit down and do some improvements. Yes, that basically improves the experience of using Release Please. So, for example, I want to improve the onboarding guide and stuff like that. The big dream for me for Release Please is to be able to support other languages apart from Rust. So it would be cool if it could also support JavaScript or Python as a start. But it's a long way, and I don't think that by myself I can do it. So I'm like, when I give talks, I always say at the end, if you want to help me to work on Release Please and so on, let me know, and we can do it. Yeah.
Yes, I'm very curious about that. I'll be honest, I still have to really get my hands dirty with it. But I would like to ask you, since we are just talking instead of coding, how did the idea of Release Please came out? And you made the first commit, because it seems like you tried to solve your own problem, or maybe
Yes.
I'm wrong. So I would like to know the very beginning of the once upon a time of this side project, and then what do you think is the problem it solves in one line?
Yes. So first of all, I did a talk about this at Rust Lab 2023. So if you want the longer version of this, there is the talk. But basically, in 2021, I in one of my previous companies, we were open sourcing some Rust internal libraries that we were using, and so we needed to release these libraries on we needed to create the release on Crates.io. So we need to run cargo publish, then we need to, I don't know, update the changelog, create the git tag, create the GitHub release, and so all these manual tasks, right? And yeah, I was wondering, since I'm a fan of automation, developer experience, I was wondering if there was a better way. And so I tried a tool called Release Please, which is called Please, sorry, like Please. And yeah, it didn't really clicked for me. Like I wasn't happy about how it was working. I couldn't figure out how to configure it. Like I couldn't get it to work basically, and so I decided to write my own tool. And so I wrote Release Please, PLZ. Still unclear if the name was a good idea. And so yeah, so first like it started by only working locally. Then I created a command that also, yes, I need to go deeper to explain how it works probably from here. Should I, or do you have other questions?
Yes. No, first of all, no, I just wanted to make a comment because this is a classic developer thing. Like there was a tool, but it was not what you wanted. So it's okay. Now I have an idea, and I can probably do better. No, I have just one quick question. Like, did you like? At the beginning, you just wanted to solve your own problem, or you just wanted to make it like as big as it is now, or just wanted, yeah.
I wasn't expecting so many people using it. Like now it's used even from companies or from like even the Rust project itself. There are like 5 or 6 projects that use it, and honestly, I wasn't expecting this. But yeah, I was developing it from the beginning with the idea to make it public on GitHub, documentation, stuff like that. So, like, I don't know, my hope was, that a couple of people, I don't know, so yeah, some people using it, but now it's used by more than 1,000 Rust projects. So definitely got more adoption that I was thinking at the beginning, yes.
Yes, thank you. I'm also in the process of writing a book, and I think a Rust book that it will be out in a few months. And I think I will have a section, even if it's for beginners, I will have a section on how to release a cargo project. So of course, I need to check it out first, but then I can't promise this, but hopefully I'll have some space also to add this in the upcoming book, because if it simplifies the process, and I'm sure it does, this is, I think, a great opportunity. So I just added a reminder, and yes, Sophia. So yes, building my own tool is such a developer thing. Yes, we have also this chat going on, and I can't remove it. So I'm sorry. I've tried for the last 20 minutes and just give up. So we have this chat scrolling, which might be nice, but also fine. Yes, so if you're in the chat, hi everyone. Of course, it's Friday. I should say not deploy today, but since Marco is here, I'll avoid this joke. And so yes, Sophia, and yes. So Marco, let's say about the language itself. What is your vibe? Let's say from the inside. Let's say do you think that Rust will be more adopted in 2025, just as in 2024? Is there anything bomb dropping soon? So what's your vibe on let's say on also working with the team? Like maybe do you have some ideas and so on at Arba?
Okay, yeah. So the vibes are great overall. Like there are so many people doing cool work, working with each other, and there are improvements on, like I would say, many sides. From for example, for compile time speeds, there is an idle flag that is starting to compile in parallel the same crate, and hopefully it will be stable soon. And then Yeah. So anyway, yeah, great vibes from like seeing things internally. And by the way, if you want to see uh, these vibes too, there is a platform called Zulip, which is basically like Slack for your company, but it's like the chat of the Rust project. And so there is one let's say one stream, like messages for each team basically. And so you can see what the teams are up to there. And yeah, then there are we started last year a process called the Rust project goals, where we have like a 6 months deadline where we commit to achieving some goals. And yeah, from there you can see what is the next what are the next big things that are coming to Rust. Not only there, but also there. The bomb, I think that we just dropped it because yeah, we just released the edition, the 2024 edition, which, for example, adds async closures. It makes working with the iterators easier. So that was great to see. And also, uh, what I wanted to say, that yeah, the adoption of Rust is increasing, like is always increasing. I don't know. Yeah, like if you see the downloads of from Crates.io, so like the crates, the libraries, they basically double every year. So that's crazy. And yeah, particularly about the Rust adoption, I would say I was impressed at Rust Nation. There was the CTO of, I think it's the CTO of Microsoft Azure, which like his talk is already public on YouTube. And the talk was basically a list of all the ways in which Rust is used in Microsoft. And it's being used everywhere from like Office, the Windows kernel. They created something like AWS Firecracker, so like a micro virtual machine that, yeah, similar to what AWS uses for Lambda in Rust. And like, yeah, basically their policy is to not use, at least for sure in Azure, is to not use C++ again and default to Rust when you cannot afford the garbage collection. So yeah, overall I'm seeing Rust or usage growing. Yeah.
Okay, Marco, was super interesting. First of all, because I'm looking for, let's say, content to create about Microsoft. I became Microsoft MVP some months ago, but I didn't have much time to create something about Microsoft. So if I find a connection between Microsoft and Rust, for me, it's, let's say, ideal content. So you just gave me a very, very good idea. So you can also send me like some links after, because I really want to check this out. I really love the metric of downloads of Crates.io, because otherwise it's a bit hard to say how much is a language used. Maybe, I don't know if you saw, let's say Python now is the most used language on GitHub, but that metric is a bit strange because we have no idea how many projects are created automatically, or they are just, some initial projects, and maybe with Python is also very close to AI. So we have no, I don't know. Of course, everyone made a tweet like, okay, Python is now number one, but this was not, I don't know, not an ideal metric. I like this metric way more. Like, let's say, like the usage itself of the package manager. It's for sure it's something. So probably this is a very nice, good, very very good news. I don't know if you also know how many packages have been created, because I think used is great. Do you think also the number of packages are increasing in numbers? I really love this metric.
Yeah, so I don't know the trend. Now there are the Crates.io website says that there are 172k crates in stock. Yeah, so there are
72,000, 172,
thousands. Yes.
172,000 of crates in
Yeah.
stock. Okay. We need to monitor this because this will be also interesting and see how many of them are not used and so on. But I really need to, let's say, play around with this a bit more. I see Tauri. That's something that I really want to check it out. I see something like Jenkins SDK. I don't know, Jenkins SDK in Rust. I don't know.
I don't know.
Jenkins API SDK. I don't know. Yes, but yeah, let's keep it more like, let's say we're talking Phantom is now. Yeah, Sophia is a Python, let's say, lover. She's also doing Python videos on YouTube. So nothing against the Python, of course. This is just to say that maybe it's I like this metric, and I like how Crates.io is done, and they are doing things. Yes.
We even use
Okay,
Python
yes.
for script. We even use Python for scripts in the team. So nothing against Python, of course. Yes.
Yeah. I've been coding in Python, let's say, recently, also because my girlfriend just made an exam in Python. So I've been involved in this. Ciao Marco, ciao Francesco. Bob is a great fan of the channel. Sofia, Tarb, how are you? Good to see. So Bob is now in the house. She speaks Italian a bit. I think he's currently in Croatia. He joins many live streams. So glad to have you here, Bob. And yes, perfect. Marco, so I will send a link of release, please. Something that maybe more that you can say about this project. I don't know. Maybe you used your own project, or maybe I don't know, something cool that happened on this project during its process. I don't know. At some point, something cool that happened. If you have any.
Okay, so like a fun fact. Yeah, I don't know. Something fun I can say is that in the GitHub, when you have a GitHub Actions, if you click on the Insights tool, Insights tab on GitHub, you can see all the dependents projects. So like the projects that use your action, right? And at least once every 2 days, I click there to see what are the projects that, what are the new projects that are adopting release please. And it's always great when you see like big projects, maybe that you also like using it. For example, I remember when some projects from Rustlang itself adopted it, or when like the Tokyo console started adopting it. I found a Python tool that lets you order the dependence of by star, let's say. So you have the projects that use your project ordered by GitHub star. And that was cool. I added this as a slide in my presentations. So it's always like the best moments for me are when new big projects adopt release please. Yes.
Interesting. Thank you. And yes, so probably I will try this in some of our upcoming live streams. Maybe I will send you, let's say, a link. But I want I really want to have my own, let's say, first reaction, so I can also do something stupid, probably. So in that case, if you want to join, we can also organize this. So now I'm full of ideas, and yes, but I really want to try it out, so people can basically make fun of me trying it out, not fanning buttons, messing things up. But this will be, of course, a honest, 100% honest review. And then, of course, if I like it, we can also start promoting it in book and other places. Very, very happy about that, Marco. Finally, I'm decided to try it out, because you're always doing things over here and there. I have a to-do list along like this, and so yes. Great, Marco. Yes, so we talked about the community, we talked about the upcoming events, and yes, so yes, you said that you also wanted to make this release, please, also for other languages. So is there any specific reason why do we also want to open up to other languages, and which are maybe the challenges? Because it's like when you go from a variable to an array of things. So maybe I think that some of the things that are in this project, they are, let's say, proper to Rust. So they are like customized for the Rust programming language. So when you want to open up to either just one more programming language, you need to probably open up to a whole set of different things. I don't have to explain this to you because you know, when you release things, it seems always the same, but it's always something, because when you have to do with the core language, there are things that are, proper of the language, how the language works. JavaScript needs a JavaScript runtime engine, for example, to run, or maybe just in the core and how they work, if they use a bytecode, if they are interpreted. So what do you think it will be the challenge, and do you have an idea for what will be the second programming language?
Yeah. So when I started Release Please, I said, I will do it only for Rust because I know this ecosystem better, and I want to solve my problem. And I also thought, for sure, I was I needed to understand how to, for example, download the crate from a cargo registry, for example, crates.io, how to update the cargo.toml, which is the package manifest. So at the beginning, I was solving these basic problems. And of course, adding support for another programming language was double the effort almost, basically. And so I decided to restrict it to Rust only for simplicity. Now that I would say the Rust part is almost done, in the sense that releasing Rust projects, updating them works. Around this part in the code base, there are parts that solve all other issues. For example, interacting with GitHub API, Git, and GitLab API. Then generating the changelog starting from commits. All these parts are programming language agnostic, let's say. So if I have to add JavaScript or Python, let's say, I don't need to rewrite everything. I just need to rewrite the parts that is Rust specific. And the challenge is that the code doesn't assumes that you are working with Rust projects. So there are Rust types. For example, there is a type called package that represents a Rust package, and this type is everywhere, of course. And so I need to do it needs to happen a lot of work of refactoring, because now package needs to be generic and so on. So it will take a lot of time. And at the moment I'm prioritizing other features, for example. But I would say after working on Release Please, I realized that most of the code base is reusable for other programming languages. And so I want to add other programming languages for two reasons. The first one is that some people use Rust in combination with other programming languages, such as JavaScript, Python. And also I want also other ecosystems to benefit from Release Please, because I think that Release Please is is the best release experience for what I've seen in what's available in Rust, let's say, is the best. And so I want also other ecosystem to experience it. And so I also want to see what other people from other ecosystems think about Release Please.
Yes, thank you. In the meanwhile, I gifted some memberships because today is the last day of the month, so it's the last opportunity for me to gift these memberships. I still need to set things out. You see, you can yes, there we have some animations here. I would like really to thank Marco for being, let's say, my first guest in this new setup. So I'm still using Streamlabs instead of StreamYard. We know that probably they sound the same, but they're not the same program. And yes, so thank you Thank you, Marco. And yes, so really wish you best of luck. And it will be nice to have a release, please, project written in Rust that also supports other languages. So we show that Rust people are not just picky just with Rust language. Of course, we are still developers. We still do stuff with other languages. So yes. Bob asks if you have an idea of the language that you will add first. I don't know if you already mentioned it. No.
Yes. So I need to basically, release please works with a registry. So the language needs to have a package registry in order to work well with our release please is now. And so the main, and also I want to pick languages that are widely adopted. And so I was thinking about JavaScript or Python first. If release please uses a tool called cargo server checks that compares the API of your program, so like all the public functions, public structs before and after the release, basically, to determine if there are breaking changes. And this tool is only available in Rust. That's why I also say that we have the best developer experience when it comes to releases. And the author is working, he said that he's working on a prototype for Python. So if that lands, if that goes somewhere, I would love Python to be the first project to add release please support. So that, for example, if you are on 1.2.3, version 1.2.3, and you change the function, the name of a public function, release please says you should update to 2.0.0, for example.
Nice. I really need to try it out. And in case you also want to support other languages, you can also count on me as a beta tester, because I also play around with many programming languages. I also made videos, and I used many programming languages in my life. So I'm probably a good candidate in this case, if you want to try some of them. So yes, so that's good. I want to share it now. I think we already have it in the description, but I also want to share it now here. So here we are really close to 1,000 stars. Very, very close to 1,000 stars. Let's see. Okay, I'm just receiving this. Yes. Okay, my GitHub is not currently. They want to send me a message, and yes. Do you have anything to? Because I have some updates, but do you have some updates for Rust used in some blockchain, for example in Solana, or you have just you don't have anything on that side?
No, I don't follow the space. Yes.
Okay, but for example, one of the reasons why I started using Rust, it was because for a blockchain called Solana, they use Rust. But for example, I really like the fact that Rust doesn't advocate directly about blockchain, because Rust is a language, so it doesn't care about the specific implementation and the logic. But I just want to say I'm also working on a Rust and Solana video, so this will be out as soon as it will be done. So yes, Manu, expect finally a Solana Rust video. I know many people asked for that in the channel, so that's it. What is exciting you guys in the tech scene? Quantum chips by Microsoft. What you guys think? I didn't check this yet. Is there anything that is that you find exciting now?
I would say that of course AI is. I find it exciting in the sense that I'm always happy to try new things. I use GitHub Copilot because they give it for free, and so I use it in VS Code, which I was already using it, and they are making it harder and harder to switch to more esoteric editor, let's say. So for now, I stick to VS Code. So overall, when I try to do my daily job, I try to use AI. I would say more times per day. I use the chat. I use the completion. So I find this space exciting. I try to stay up to date with everything that happens in the space. Yes.
Yeah, for me it's similar. I think what excites me more is that let's say all the AI tools to write code, and you know that we are in a phase when there are like many of them, many companies they are going in a direction. We have probably too many AI powered IDs. I hope it will have less in the future, but you know they are fighting now, so we have many. I also use GitHub Copilot, of course. I also forgot to activate the Microsoft MVP free things, so I also paid the last one, but I need to activate this for sure. Yes, do you use any LLM, something like in the AI space, or not? Have you played around?
Yeah. What I use is the GitHub VS Code completion, which just they created the new. I don't know, like they have a new completion stuff, and I enable it, and it's faster. I think it's I don't want to give. I don't want to guess. Yeah, and before in the chat, in the VS Code chat, I was using Sonnet 3.5, and now I'm using 3.7 thinking, but it's very new. So yeah, I think I just prompted one question or something since it came out. Yeah.
Nice, thank you. In the meanwhile, I was just typing the code to log in GitHub, so I could like leave a star to the project. So if you are here watching this live stream in the meanwhile, you can just check it out. And we have 100 forks on the project, which is very cool. And yeah, I'm waiting. I think you are keeping refreshing because you are looking for the 1,000 stars, so you can probably post about this, I'm sure.
Yes.
This will be done very, very soon. Probably this this weekend, just in a few days. Yes, we are not talking about specifically about getting jobs and blockchain here, because we are more focused on the Rust programming language here. Since we are here in talking about Rust, maybe one idea, if you like, for example, the Solana blockchain, is exactly so getting started with Rust. So this is let's say an advice just focused on this on today's topic, Manu. I will probably do a separate live stream when you can ask me like everything. We can go like on the the rapid fire chat, and I will just reply to everyone. But in this case, probably trying something new, it's probably a good idea, of course. And then all the tips to get jobs, interviews, that's a niche. It's something else. Nice. Marco, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Is there anything that you want to add? For example, we have this question by Sofia, which was exactly mine, which is like prediction for Rust, or let's say wrong prediction about Rust this year. Of course, this is recorded just in case you are wrong, so I can just call you out. So, Marco, what are your predictions for Rust in 2025?
Rust is going to become even more awesome. Yeah. Faster compile times, more crates available. Hopefully this year we will be able to. I'm not sure if this year or the next one, but there is an interesting effort, which now I think it's just an RFC, to be able to improve how crates are signed, so that there could be there could be mirrors of Crates.io. So I don't know, for example, universities can spin up, or even of course companies, they can spin up Crates.io mirrors to have their own instance, for example, which from an infrastructure side for sure is interesting.
So some universities or companies, they can spin up their own say package manager, let's say system, I would say. Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
since we're recording here and we need to, so maybe you want to call me out, I will make my own prediction. My prediction is that there are all the signals that Rust is growing. So telling that it will grow is probably an easy prediction. My hot take is that probably we will have one or even more big news in Rust. I don't know. Google adopted Rust for this new big project, or Microsoft adopted Rust for, but like big, let's say the top class project. So probably these for reasons. Because first of all, we will have more Rust developers. Then it's very close to being efficient, but also usable, let's say, from that point of view. So my prediction is this one. It will have some very big news that it will be probably adopted. I think this is already adopted, as you say, like in Microsoft, but something even more, I don't know, democratic, in a more democratic way. I don't know, a new version of GitHub Copilot or something like that. So I think we'll have at least one, or I predict 3 big news on big project. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. In that case, I'll probably reshare this clip and they say I told you. So that's my hot take. Marco, I find infrastructure interesting. Can you give more details on how that might work? I think you already said this at the beginning, but if you want maybe to give some ideas, and maybe you can also share what you'll probably focus on this here. And yes, then we'll wrap up.
So if you're referring to like the create mirror and so on, you need to Google for the app. I think it's called. So let me check. I'm not. Yeah, it's called. If you look for TUF, so the update framework, there is an RFC that is being discussed. So if you think if you are interested about like in general what the infrastructure team does, we maintain the infrastructure that Rust needs. So for example, the CDN, all the servers such as Docs.rs, Crates.io, the website that needs to be up. Most importantly, the CI, the compiler, so like all the process that builds the artifacts, stuff like that. And we also have some GitHub bots. For example, we have one that, from code, it synchronizes how the GitHub teams are created. For example, you add your name to a toml file, and you are automatically added to a certain team. Stuff like that.
That was a great answer, Marco. For example, I didn't know about this TUF. I googled it, so this seems something useful. Let's go. It sounds super official. Nice work, of course. Official, it's part of his job. So yes, Marco, the last prediction will be that probably we will meet at some conference. So in that case, I will show this clip and then the selfie taken together. Yes, so I need to check the list. So on my action points, I have to check the Rust list of conferences. Very interesting about the Florence one. I can even come by car, which is great. For example, I went to a DevFest conference in Bari in September, and like going to thank you so much, Bob, for gifting 20 memberships. We probably will have now. This is going on for 5 minutes. Thank you. And yes, so I'll probably come. When did you say that it was the Florence one in September?
So let me Google it. You can find it's rustlab.it, and it's November 2nd. Yeah, November 2nd to November 4th, and the CFP is open. So.
Okay, interesting. International conference. But I mean, I can even come anyway, but let's say, but probably I will try that out. So I will try this one, and maybe I can contact the organizers. Really interesting, this one. And then thank you so much, of course, Bob, gifting so many memberships, and yes, okay, so that, and also I need to check the Release Please project, probably on live stream or somewhere else. Yes, what else? I think that's it for me. And the Microsoft thing. I need to check. The Microsoft talk. I think it was a talk of
Yes,
Microsoft cool things on Rust.
I will send you the link now because here it is.
You hope to catch up when hands. Yeah, feel free to organize some coffee chats, Bob. So with Sophia, like people here in the chat. How could your audience best support you and your project? As we already said, this project is very, very close to reach 1,000 stars. So you know what to do. I will leave the link. Let's help Marco to reach 1,000 as soon as possible. Don't want to say today because during the weekend, but like come on, we
Thank you.
have 23 more. We can do it. Go, Bob, do your job and tag Marco and me on if you make any post, any tweet. Okay. Not great. This looks very, very, very interesting project. Yes. Who made the logo of this release, please?
I did with crappy AI. So if you look at the ends, it's clear that it's done by AI. And I did it like 3 years ago. I don't know, 2 years ago.
Cool.
So
perfect.
If you are a designer and you enjoy working for free, as all as I do, as I'm doing since 3 years, and you want to create a new logo, free, yeah. It's great.
But a logo, it should have a catch up. Yes, absolutely, Sophia. Great. Okay, perfect. Okay, we have just one more star and more will come, so be sure to make a post, tag me and Marco, I'll be sure to repost it, of course. So come on, we have 20 more, 22 more, and then we can finally rest for a while. Let's do it before the weekend ends. Come on. Okay, Marco, thank you so much for coming. This has been a really, really useful conversation. We could have made private, but I think this is funnier in this way. We also got something, so we also could share some ideas and ask for stuff and let people know about our cool project and what we are currently working on. Marco, thank you so much. Also, I haven't live streamed for a while because I was just busy doing stuff. So this is probably, this breaks the streak of my, soft stop. Be sure to make a post, tag Francesca and Marco. Yes, absolutely, Bob. So you know what to do. I think you are Marco Ieni on Twitter. So it's easy. And yes, okay. So be sure to share also the link of the project. Okay. Perfect, Marco. Some final takes, and then we can close this. I see also one more star, so we are getting there. We'll be there soon.
Great, thank you. Sorry, perfect. You asked if I have a...
No, I just asked if you wanted to say something before we wrap up or say something.
I wanted to say thank you for having me. It was very fun. Yes, I enjoy sharing as much as possible of what I do in public. Yes. If you're thinking about contributing to open source, definitely consider either Release Please or even like joining the Rust project as a volunteer. I think it's a great place to learn. It's like many people, I think that don't even think about it, but the Rust project, there are many teams. Even if you're not into Rust, you can do, I don't know, front-end development in Docker.rs, something like that. So the Rust project is a great place to learn new stuff, make connections. So yeah.
Yes, I have one last question, just in case you know something. So I'm preparing a talk when they asked, and it's called, I think I didn't announce it on social media yet, but it's Front-End Master or Front-End Nation. I don't know. It's Front-End something, the conference. I'm sorry. can't remember that names. So I will probably prepare something to check the status of Rust in web development and front end. So do you have any news on this? I played around with some frameworks, but since you're here, so maybe
I'm sending you now another link because there was a talk at Rust Nation called "The Future of Rust Web Applications," where the creator of Leptos gave his take about what you can do with WebAssembly Rust, basically.
Interesting.
And also shown like his framework, but also the state of the others. So I will definitely check it out. Yeah,
I played around with some of them, and it's super interesting. I made a full stack REST API application using Rust on the front end, Rust on the back end, and also Dockerized. I think I used U and Rocket, on the back end. But I mean, whatever works. I just wanted to have something simple to have front end and back end. I think Leptos is a full stack framework.
Yes.
It's some similar to Next.js, so we can compare it maybe.
Yes. You can do front end. Yes. You don't need to, for example, pass JSON. I think. Like,
no, this is of course super interesting. Even if this is like, of course, a niche thing, but just the fact that this exists, and I have to be honest, one of the reasons why I started creating Rust content, it was that it actually was, we could use it for backend and frontend, because of course we have so many web developers. So probably for a total beginner, it's easier to learn Rust, creating a simple backend application, a simple set of API, rather than, a controller or something that is more say closer to the Linux kernel. That's just a matter of level for beginners. So this is one of the reasons why I decided, okay, let's do something which is not too niche, otherwise we have two people checking this out. So just to democratize, let's say, Rust more. And then, of course, once you know the language, you can do whatever you want. So one of the reasons that got me into Rust, it was the web development part, and which is probably not obvious, but yes. So
basically, if you look at the Rust survey, every year let's say backend is the main use case for Rust. So it's the main use case. So people use it mainly for that. And to me, it's amazing how much, in how many different ways you can use Rust. You can use it for embedded CLI, backend, front-end game development, the foundational libraries of machine learning. You can write in Rust and so on. And I would say, yes, I agree with you. If you're for example, if you're a web developer, starting with the backend is a good starting point. Otherwise, I think also creating a CLI is a good starting point. Yeah,
of course. In my, let's say, course and lessons, of course, I start with the CLI, of course, but I think, when you have, especially, also, for example, like Docker and deployment, so once you have, simple set of CRUD REST API, you can, play around with that a bit more. You can deploy it, you can let other people try it out, otherwise with a CLI, it can be done, but of course, a bit harder, let's say, especially, for example, in a live stream, I can, create the project, deploy it with Docker, then people can try it out right now, so during the live stream. So it's just a matter of, let's say, content part. Marco, this has been really a great episode. I learned a lot, and thank you so much. We just need now to catch up and probably take a picture together. I wrote down all the things that I have to do. And yes, best of luck with everything. I'm looking forward for the 1000 stars post. And yes, thank you, Marco, and see you, and have a great weekend. Where are you based right now?
I'm based in Sicily.
Where are you based? Now in Sicily. Okay, yeah. I need to visit Sicily as soon as possible. Never been to Sicily. This is a shame for me. On my own, I have to say that I booked a flight, but then COVID happened, so this was the last excuse.
Okay.
I had already the flight scheduled. Also, yes, also Sicilian origins. So I will come one day to visit you. Where are you based in Sicily?
I'm based in Messina, so if you come by car or by train, you will not miss it. If you have the flight, you can easily miss Messina. Yes, but yeah, I would say keep an eye on Coderful, the conference happening in Sicily, because that one was nice. So we can meet there maybe.
Perfect. Let's see. Thank you so much, Marco, and thank you so much for everyone in the chat. Thank you so much, Bob, for gifting 20 memberships. And yes, I think that we can close it now. I think you shared the link. I wanted to share here. I think this was the link of the. But I'll put this in the description because I can't select it now. Okay. Thank you so much, and bye, everyone. Have a nice weekend. How can I stop it here? Bye.